At the beginning of this module, when we created our first VM, what we had done is we'd gone over and said new and selected virtual machine, gave it some basic settings, and then set it up so that it would install the guest operating system. Now, here's what this VM actually comes with for the guest operating system to make it as compatible as possible with a variety of versions of operating systems. The drivers for that operating system are fairly generic. Things like the keyboard, the mouse, the disk, your network adapter, very generic drivers. And what happens is after you get the guest OS up, you can go in and enhance those drivers and make the experience better. You can enhance those drivers with Hyper-V based ones that will improve your performance, your connectivity. So you definitely want to do this. Now, this is guest integration services. And oftentimes what you'll do is you're going to see it in the tools as integration services. Look down here. You can see that it says integration services for server 1. There's an update required. In other words, they haven't been installed yet, so we want to install those. Now, if you want to find out about this in larger scale with your VMs, you can do it from PowerShell. So get VM, and I'm just going to narrow it down to one server, but you can get this for multiple servers, is going to have, and let's go ahead and get all of the properties. Has a property right up here towards the top that'll tell you integration, integration service state, and it says update required. So what you can do is you can look for all of your VMs that have update required on integration state, and that'll tell you the ones that can still be enhanced. Now, I also want to show you, you can see this. I'm going to go into the settings for this virtual machine. And in settings, down here under management, integration services, this is where you can configure what you want this VM to use when you have the integration set up. So it says some services are offered right now, and it gives you a list of some of the things you can do. Does the host operating system have the ability to shut down the guest operating system? Would you like to have time synchronization between the host and the guest? Would you like to exchange things like registry information between the host and the guest? Do a backup or a checkpoint? These are the kind of services that you want to have enabled, along with improving the drivers for your peripherals, that kind of stuff, which would get you better response time, better performance. So how do we get this set up? Well, what you do is you log into the guest operating system. This is something that needs to be installed in that guest operating system. What I'm going to do is I've got my virtual machine. I'm going to hit the Control-Alt-Delete button, and I'm going to log into it. I'm intentionally not maximizing this so you kind of see that I'm in the virtual machine that we made earlier. I want you to notice that there's an option under Action called Insert the Integration Services Setup Disk. So let's go ahead and click that. And we'll tap to see what happens, and we'll say Install the Hyper-V Integration Services. In our case, it's detected a previous version. Is it okay to upgrade this version? Yes, we'll have it upgrade. And now it'll improve those. Now, Windows comes with a lot of the integration services already built in, but a lot of other operating systems do not. So this is a good place to start. Now, if you've worked with other hypervisors before, you know that just about everybody has additional integration services to improve the communication that you have with your peripherals. Oh, and it says now that it's been installed, do you want to restart? Certainly. When this computer comes back from a restart, now that you'll see that my integration services have been set up. My server's been rebooted. I'm going to close this and show you the current status of him down here. Integration services up to date. And I can go into settings. Into integration services and control the services that I want to use. So keep in mind, you can turn these on and off after you have integration services applied. Well, this will certainly help a VM's performance, making sure that these are implemented and that they're updated appropriately, and lets us control some of the features and the options. But there's a couple of leftover things that we want to talk about that can also improve certain performance aspects before we wrap up.